All right, here we go. Episode 14, starting off. Me and Jimmy, just like episode 1. We were going to have some other guests on, but everything came up and it's a busy weekend. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to talk about stuff going on in the gun world, stuff going on in the political world right now. I want to dive into what's happening in California with this Assembly Bill 1127, which otherwise known, more popularly known as the Glock Ban. So this basically, I'm just going to read a little caption here. The Assembly Bill 1127, which bans the retail sale of pistols easily convertible into machine guns, it's passed by the legislation and signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom. I think he signed it on October the 10th. It primarily targets certain models of Glock handguns and certain firearms. This thing is Jesse Gabriel, who is an Assembly member down south. It's kind of his baby. There's a couple of these items that are for sale aftermarket. They're known as the Glock switches, which I guess you can easily, I've never actually seen one get installed, but apparently you can install these things pretty easily into a Glock, making them select fire or making them fully auto.
And they've been illegal federally for quite a while.
I don't know if the switches to purchase them have been illegal, but installing them on any weapon system, yeah, it's illegal to install them. So if you had the item, which wouldn't do anything, hurt anybody, and then you had the actual Glock, which is just semi-automatic, both of those items are not. Once you put them together, the feds even say, no, you can't do that. That's a fully automatic. That's like a class 3 weapon, dangerous weapon. You can't have it. So you're right. It's always been illegal. So let me give you my thoughts on this. And first I want to get a little bit of history of Glock. If anybody hasn't read this book.
I didn't even know you had that, bro.
Dude, this is such a good book, man. I've read it like twice over. If Drew is watching this, please hit me up so I can get your book back, because I borrowed it from him, I don't know, in 2013 or something, or maybe 2012, and the borrow turned into an ownership thing. But anyway, this book is great. So this goes over the history and the story of Mr. Gaston Glock, how he invented this incredible system. I'll give you a little show and tell here of this bad boy.
The Tupperware.
The Glock Tupperware, how it all started. So Glock, basically an Austrian icon, Mr. Gaston Glock, in the 1960s and 70s, he's doing contract for the government there, the Austrian military. And in 1979 or 1980, he heard these generals discussing how they could replace the complex HK for what their troops were using. And he asked them if they could give it a try. And as they laughed at him and said, yeah, go ahead. He was making door fixtures and window fixtures and stuff like that.
Was he like a plastic guy too, kind of thing?
Well, the polymer, he got this new machine, and it's not the first gun. I think HK actually had them before, but he got this new machine to do polymer molds. And that's how he ended up making the Glock. And in the book, it states the 17 was named after either one of two things. Either it was his 17th attempt to make it, or the fact that they carry 17 rounds. But he presented it to whoever he needed to present it to in Austria. And in 1981, or late 1980, the Austrian military ordered 40,000, changing him from this window and government contract kind of one guy to, hey, I'm going to supply the weaponry for the entire Australian military. Yeah.
Provide, yeah. Wow.
This one of the OGs right here, this is a Gen 1. They call it a smooth side because it didn't have the grips and all that stuff. Pretty cool. It's got the original Tupperware container, best in market, 1987. So Glock has been around for a long time. It stormed America in like 1985, 1986. Rappers started singing about it, and then news broadcasters started talking about there's this new polymer pistol that can get on airplanes and everything. And I actually remember that stuff.
I remember that.
News. Yeah,
I remember that. It was evil. Evil.
Yeah,
evil.
Crazy, insane weapon that you can take on airplanes, and you can't because it's, yes, this part's polymer, but the rest of it's all metal. There's metal parts in it.
Yeah.
So now you look at, fast forward to California, and Mr. Terminator himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger, being our governor, that allowed the state to implement the drop test, which came with micro stamping and all that, which no longer is actually a issue, but California has kind of got the government of California has gotten their grasp on this, and they're not going to let go. I know. Well, he did contribute to it, yeah. Anyway, Glock was grandfathered in because this product, the Gen 3, this is the Gen 1, but the Gen 3s that were later produced in 1999, I think, after Arnie signed that in 07, now you had to do the safety drop. But any other gun that was already being sold in the state could have had a grandfather clause on it. Well, Glock had that grandfather clause, and they just renew it every year. So you can buy a Gen 3 only at the time, and currently you can buy a Gen 3 only. And Glock's on Gen 4 and Gen 5 now, and now they're going to this new V Gen thing.
V-Series.
The V-Series soon, which I don't have a lot of intel on that. But anyhow, Glock, I've been selling Glock for a long time. I mean, I got into this in 2008, and I've started selling Glocks like right off the bat. Over the years, I've sold thousands of Glocks. I've trained thousands of people with the Glock. It's pretty important, and it's definitely a global icon. It's an American icon. I'm sure America. I think they produce a little over 4,000 pistols per day for the world, and America is most likely the largest consumer. We are by far the most largest private consumer of Glocks.
Oh, it's been in our lives. Oh, forever?
Yeah.
Law enforcement?
Yeah, I remember doing my first tactical course with Livermore, and I went through with the 5906 when I got on their tactical team. And then as soon as I got out of the course, like 6-week course, we fired around 5,000 rounds with that gun. And as soon as I graduated, they're like, congratulations. All right, turn that old hunk of crap in, and here's your Glock. I'm like, okay, I just went through this long course with it. But yeah, and then after that, it was, competing with the Glock. And it's just a really incredible piece of machinery that's way ahead of its time.
Simplicity.
The simplicity makes it what it is. Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. So now you look at Glock that doesn't have to have a magazine release, doesn't have to have a loaded indicator, and never did have micro stamping. And you look at its relation for California, and now there's this assembly bill, and it is attacking the almighty Glock, and it's getting rid of the Glock. And let me tell you, a lot of people don't understand there's phases of this, right? So when that bill got signed in, it was released earlier in the year. It got squashed. Now it's back. And I think there may be some stuff that's not just a coincidence that is coming back at this time. Glock has recently announced that it will no longer be producing the Gen 3. I do not think that is because of rules and regulations for California. They're just cleaning house.
They've moved on. And there's only a few reasons why they've made that, California and then a couple other states. And it's just like, hey, either move on or get left behind.
Gaston Glock. Very rich and fruitful life. And he passed away, I believe, in 22 or 2023. He had a lot of control over that company. And I think now that he's passed, the board members are saying, okay, look, old man Glock is out of the picture. Let's move forward. Let's utilize, some of these sales tactics that we wanted to do, but he wouldn't let us do. And I think one of those is, I know Glock said, hey, look, I'm not going to submit to any place. We make the safest pistols on earth and have been proven to do so. And we're going to continue to do that, whether a state like California likes it or not. So that's why you got the grandfather Gen 3s in, but you don't have Gen 4s and Gen 5s, which arguably could be.
Or safer, too.
They could be, arguably. They could be, yeah. So now you've got AB 1127, which is banning basically the Glock. They call it the Glock Ban, or any other thing that uses a trigger system that's just like the Glock. But Glock's already announced. So
that's why we're talking about, dude. It's almost like we're talking about it the other day. It's kind of like a ploy. Like,
I think it's a ruse, man.
Hey,
I do. I think
look what
that
we did, but you really didn't do it because it was already going away.
This is what I think. I think that the Assemblyman Gabriel decided, hey, I'm going to write this, and we're going to get rid of the Glock. But then he had intel that Glock was already going to discontinue the only item that's legal in California. So they'd have a big win. You showed me on your phone a couple months back about all of these nonprofit organizations, right, that were raising money for this bill. So I personally think that it's a money wash. I think that there's California politics that are utilizing these nonprofit organizations in order to make however much money that they make, and they're going to do with whatever they're going to do with it. And then they can say, look, guys, thanks for all the money.
Also being funded by some questionable things, too.
Sure.
CPA.
What does that stand for again?
Communist Party of America. That's the crazy part.
And that's one of the heavy funders that you were showing me, right, that was going for this bill?
That are funding the other funders.
Sure. So basically, they already know that Glock is going to discontinue it. They can get the governor's signature with a supermajority. So go ahead and do it, because they're not going to have any lawsuits. How is Glock or somebody else really? I mean, you can sue them over the ridiculousness of this AB 1127 and there are litigations over it. So there's challenges over it. But the manufacturing company's not going to be able to come after them for any sales lost or anything like that because they're already discontinuing it. So this is where I think it's political. I really do think that. And I think that money that got generated for this AB 1127 is being funneled to who knows wherever they want it. But Glock is now introducing the V series, and I am not going to make the SHOT Show this coming up January. I've got some other stuff going on, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be released at SHOT Show. And I'm going to make this prediction. I'm going to say that there might be a California model or two within that V series that might be released.
It did say something about the crucifix, like removing the crucifix.
It did. It said that it
looks like a Glock still, exactly like a Glock. It's just the internals.
Right. And then AB 1127 will have no merit towards that Glock.
It won't, yeah.
So they'll have to come up with something else to just
have like the numbers still the same, G17V, or G19V, so it looks like they have all the same numbers, but just they're putting a V.
So let's go over the phases of the bill. The bill 1127 states, in January, no more Glocks can be imported into the state unless they have law enforcement credentials, so they have the exempt status to get that Glock. In July, no dealers, whether they have old inventory or not, so all you dealers out there, if you've been doing it for a while and you might have some books with some blank lines in them because there might be a Glock or two hanging out in that safe that you haven't seen for a long time, you come across it after July, you can no longer sell it in your store. That's it.
We're going to get rid of them.
So they're going very fast. So my distributors have called me and said, hey, Glock's already announced to us, starting November 1st, they will no longer be shipping Glocks to us because they're already done. They're phasing it out. There's no more Gen 3s. So for California, the largest gun seller and consumer, all 50 states, believe it or not, we outsell any 2 states combined, even Tennessee and Texas.
Yeah.
California has the population. We've got a lot of people out here that are making decent income, and it doesn't stop them from coming out and buying a gun, even though they have to go through ridiculous regulations. You're going to stop them buying a gun for a Gen 3 Glock because of what we just talked about. So the Assembly bill would have been effective for sure in doing that. And I hope that companies like CPRA and the other places that are litigating against the state of California's government continue to do so, because they're ridiculous rules that aren't protecting public safety. They're just out there to pick on a certain group of individuals so they can have their political party, and celebrate a victory. But technically, if you think about it, it's a lame victory because Glock's already discontinuing the item.
It's a fake victory.
That's what I feel. I feel
it's a fake victory.
Yeah. So we've got,
like what they call it, we call it like football, trash time at the end. The team that's destroying the other team kind of goes, okay, we're backing off, putting our third stringers, and then the other team's first string are gaining a few points.
Yeah, that's a solid analogy of it. The guys that are writing these rules and regulations that took over my favorite person, Anthony Portantino, they just kind of like went along with what Portantino was doing for the past 2 decades, and they're like, let's just keep it going.
Or the Yee guy.
Yeah, and who knows if that guy's in prison or not, like he should be. But anyhow, these guys are out. Don't think that by me saying, hey, Glock's already canceling them anyway, that I'm saying that your California politicians aren't trying to take away your amendment rights or your freedoms of being an American and owning a gun, because they are. They're still doing that. They're charging hard on that. And they're going to continue to do so. And there's other assembly bills that are on the line too. So, do what you can. I like to write my senator on a regular basis. I like to support the litigation groups. I got an email back, actually. And real fast, while I'm getting that, I want to show Mr. Gaston Glock right here. Check him out. It's a good book. It's got other pictures in there, too.
I'll have to read that book.
Yeah. No, it's great, man. It really is.
They have it on Audible.
I bet you they do. It'd be a good listen. It would, because you go through it kind of fast, when I don't have time to sit down and, like, go through the pages and stuff. And I listen to a lot of audibles, but that would be a good listen. It's a good read either way. Another really good one that's an earlier book is Eliphas Remington, an American Legend, which is that one's so good, man. But anyway, I'm getting
Browning has one too.
Browning has a good book. I got that one here. Yeah, the John Browning book. That's great. So I write out a lot to my senator, which is Alvarado Gill, and she usually doesn't get back. It'll be like a generic, like, oh, thanks for your interest. By the way, I'm going to be over here at this time. You should show up or whatever. And it's just kind of a blank thing.
Sent to all.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah. This time she actually got back. And I think it was pertaining to the subject. It was probably her staff or something. But I'm just glad that she did, because I said, hey, I want to reach out to your office to see if you are in favor or if you're in opposition of AB 1127. I kind of like threw it out there, better known as the Glock Ban, saying, please show disappointment for this bill, everything, because it's not going to improve public safety, blah, blah, blah. And what say you? And that was on the 15th of October. And on the 20th, she got back. And she kind of just gave me like a blanket definition of what the bill means. So she's like, hey, thanks for your concern regarding Assembly Bill 1127, Assembly Member Gabriel. I appreciate you taking the time to inform me, blah, blah, blah. And then it says like, oh, AB, bans the sale of machine convertible beginning July 1st, 2026. So that's when it can't be sold out of the store. But it is effective January 1st, because the state will no longer allow any gun dealers to receive Glocks after January 1st or after December 31st of this year.
26.
January 1st of December 31st of 25. Yeah, this year.
And then January.
This is a couple months. Yeah. And then January 1st, no more. That's it. So
it's still the word ban. It just doesn't sit.
That's what I mean. I think the ban, that word it's kind of an easy, like the general public or even the people that are rallying for these nonprofit organizations to, generate income. Like, they don't care about the ban or the gun. They need just a point. Like, how can we generate this in income? What can we do? So here's something that we can ruffle the feathers of some people that
normal Americans
that probably are concerned. Like, yeah, we don't want bad people to have machine guns, of course. And then they put out like, look, guys, we won. We banned it. Look what we did. We got together. So
the scary part is what that judge talked about on the other one. What was his name? Down south. He did that video or
Huh? Oh, no. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that guy did a good job.
It's the same thing. It's a slippery slope. And once you go over that slope, then that's when all the other shit comes into play. That's the scary part.
I would like to thank Maria Alvaro Gill's office for sending me this, because it is pertaining. And then she did title her email opposed. So that makes me think that she's in a response like, yeah, I think it's BS too. It's crap. Or one of her staff did or something like that. But anyway, that's something that we could all do. I used to write Portantino all the time, or email him constantly. And then I started getting, because he's down in Burbank, I started getting generic responses back on a regular basis, like immediately saying like, you're not in our district, please contact your district. But they're like, you're the one that's making these rules, Heath Flora.
Crap that's affecting us over here.
Yeah, and just to let you know that Heath Flora is ours. We had Juan Alanis on, which is a different district than us.
Good dude.
We had him on because we know him, and we're able to get him. I know Heath a little bit. I could probably reach out to Heath, but Heath is a really good, sensible dude, and he's our district here. If you're in Oakdale or the surrounding areas, Heath Flora is going to be your assemblyman. So reaching out to him, reaching out to your Senator Alvarado Gil, reaching out to your Congress person.
We should try to get ours.
Our Congress?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's hard. McClintock?
Yeah.
His office never gives like any kind of, his office, like it makes you fill out these line items to even contact them.
Wow.
So that they can get a base computer generated email to immediately come back to you and say, hey, look, we're answering you, you know? So
check
he's
the box.
Yeah. I don't email him as much as I do the senator, but I probably should a little bit more. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, that's one way that we can kind of like, how do we combat this? Because they are taking away our rights. So that's one way, is you have politicians, let them know.
For us.
Let them understand. They're supposed to be working for the people. It's not supposed to be the other way around. And then, of course, you know, support places like the CPRA and the places that actually litigate against these, because you do need litigation, man. This calls for lawsuit.
Yeah.
But I hope that makes things a little clear on what's happening, as far as everyone's like, man, what's going to happen? I think January 1st, we're not going to be able to buy them. Well, technically, you still can in a gun store until July 1st of 2026, but there won't be any left, because Glock stops shipping them next month in November. And the state of California won't allow them to be imported in January. So then that 6 months that goes by, if any dealer does find one in his inventory somewhere to sell, he can. But then by July 1st, it's like game over. And I do not know the status of PPTs or private parties. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that or not. I probably should look into that as well. But for the most part, the Gen 3s are going away anyhow.
So. Yeah. Yeah, they're gone. I mean, they're not making them anymore, right? I don't think they're sending them out.
Hey, Fred, what kind of Glocks were you issued, and how many rounds did you put through those?
My Glocks that I was issued in LE started off with the 40 cal before the FBI switched over to 9mm and made everybody think that the 40 cal was unnecessary. And my Glock 22, I don't know. I've got a lot, tens of thousands of rounds through that. And then on the team, we had the Glock 21, which is the 45 ACP, and I bought those back. I bought my Dig Pro and the regular one back.
We shot the shit out of them.
Yeah, to say the least, we did.
Out of them.
So I think Chad had mine before I got it, and he got it in 03, and then I got it in 2012.
We're talking about Gen 3, right?
We're talking about Gen 3, 45 ACP.
Because we didn't have the Gen 4.
The team would go through anywhere from 5 to 1,500 rounds per month in training alone with those firearms. You can start calculating. If you just average it out at like 1,000 per, so you're looking at, I mean, that's a lot of rounds.
Yeah, we went through a lot.
10,000 rounds, you know,
SWAT
per
range
year,
days,
at least.
Jesus.
On SWAT days, you abused them.
Shot a lot.
So, yeah, I don't know if I've got 1 million rounds through Glock. Maybe not, but I've got hundreds of thousands. I know I've got 1 million rounds through guns, period, more, because I was in the Marine Corps with fully auto stuff and everything else. But
they damn near last forever. Damn near.
They do. They last a long time with limited part replacements. I mean, they're so successful because of that. So it's kind of crazy to see this firearm not be produced anymore. One good thing about it is eras always come and go. They begin and then they end. So if the era of the Gen 3 Glock is ending, the new era of collectability is beginning for that generation.
Yeah.
So if you've got them, before you just ditch them and get rid of them because, you know, your neighbor or your friend is offering you an extra $50 or something like that.
They're like,
you look at the Gen 1, you know, like these ones that came out in, I think they came out for the public in like 83, 84. They came to America big time in like 85, 86. But these guys, these Generation 1s, this says 1987 U.S. Award, Best in the Market. I mean, they're on Gunbroker and you get outbid at like $2,000, you know, so.
That's with everything in good condition.
Yeah, it's got to be collectors. It's got to have the box and the paper and all that stuff with it. The Gen 2s, I would say, you're looking about an $800 item if it's got all that, maybe up to 12 depending on condition. And, there's different models of the Gen 2s. And then the Gen 3s are what they are. You're going to go into a gun store and they're going to offer you like 180 to 250 bucks and they're going to sell it for $300 or something that's used. That's all going to change. It's all going to change, and we're going to see it happen immediately and rapid because of the circumstances that are happening so fast.
So how is that, as I just thought about it, I don't know if we said it earlier. So the Gen 3, so you're not able to sell. What about transfers after that date?
That's what I was talking about. I'm not sure about private party transfers. I don't think that it's going to affect private party transfers, but I'm not 100%. I'm not. So the thing that's weird about this bill, man, is like they come up with, okay, here's a good comparison. If it's like the Kessler ban list of 99, where they actually named firearms, they said, look, if you have it, you can do a registration card. This went for centerfire magazine-fed rifles that Kessler versus so-and-so in California in 1999. The courts decided, okay, we'll give you that. These would be dangerous weapons. So now they're considered assault rifles. You cannot own one. You can't transfer it. You can't gift it. You can't, give it to your kids, any of that stuff if they're still in the state of California. You can sell it out of state. Now, these are just normal guns. So a perfect example is the Colt SP1 or SP2 or SP3. These are Sporter. The SP stands for Sporter. And Eugene Stoner, designs the Colt AR-15 or the M16, and he sells it patent rights to Colt in the military. And they, after Vietnam, it was the test run, and now it's just what we use. And then the civilian model comes out in 79-ish, and Colt said, hey, war's over. We got to still make money off. This is a great design. Let's make a Sporter model. So they did a Sporter, so the SP1. Okay, those were named. So you know what Colt did? After 1999, they said, okay, so California says that this is a dangerous gun because of what it's named. Well, let's rename it. Let's call it the 6920. That's not a Sporter. It's totally different. And that is the only thing that they changed.
The name.
All other of these assault weapons started going down the list doing the same thing to get the sales for California. So it really kind of slapped the face of the politicians that came up with this because they thought...
Because they put the name in the law, so they changed the name, and it's not illegal.
But that may be something, that's a good comparison because those firearms that are still out there, they can't be transferred. They're just normal guns in other states. Assembly Bill 1127 is making it sound as if the Glock can easily be changed into a fully automatic assault machine gun or something. So if it's under the same rules and regulations, then no, PPTs are not going to apply. If the same rules and regulations as far as the assault weapons goes of the Kessler ban list of 99, then no, they're not going to apply because they're going to say, look, you own it, we're going to let you have it, we can't take your property away from you, but you can't gift it, you can't sell it, you can't transfer it, you can't do that. None of them in the state of California. It's got
Well, at least, in California.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, man, about the PPTs. I don't know. I just know, like, what I'm reading here on the bills, as far as, like, the timeline goes, no more coming in January 1st, no more to be able to be transferred legally through a gun store, as far as the gun store selling it to a person in July 1st of 2026.
Yeah. Never thought it would happen, it's here.
Well, it's been decades, man. How many millions of Glocks have been sold? And now it's like, bam. But like I said,
Jesus.
My prediction, you will see some V Glocks on the shelf.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, I like to stay a little optimistic. There's a lot of good stuff out there right now, right? There's a lot of, like, Glock is so powerful with that design that everybody started copying them. Smith & Wesson was sued in the late 80s, early 90s because they came up with their version of a Glock. And
SDV or...
It's before that. I can't remember what it was called, man, but it was like the SDVE is the newer version that's slightly changed. Basically, Smith & Wesson just said, look, just make one. They're outselling the crap out of us. And like I said, the Smith & Wessons had the 5906 variant that was an awesome American full metal semi-automatic gun. They shoot great, but Glock just put them under. Glock was making something for less money that was easier to, much lighter, easier to carry, easier to train people on.
Disassemble, assemble.
So much easier for that, man. That's a huge thing when you look at police departments, government, military, or even like shops that have to train somebody to understand these products. Sig Sauer, when I went to smithing, the armorer's course or whatever, they gave us the SIG P229 series and the 220 series, and it was a 3-day course. Yeah. And it was hard. The test at the end of that 3-day course was hard. Then we got Glock, and it was a 4-hour course, and it was the easiest thing in the world.
Well, most of your, like the guy earlier, I mean, the only difference is it has that the slide lock on all the others, but you have a lot of brands that have almost copied Glock's,
Dude,
simplicity.
All of them, bro.
Except, they add a couple things. Like I said, the lock, not the slide stop, but the lock that you have to slide up.
Anything that has that striker fire of modern day has copied Glock. And that, you're just not getting pistols on the mass that are produced with metal components anymore. It's all polymer mold injected components, man. And they might infuse stuff in there like, oh, we got tungsten infused and everything. Fine, dude. You're still a polymer injected because it's cheaper. It's easier to do that. You don't have to go through the tools. Yeah. The tooling on those machines, man, when you're dealing with alloys and steels, beats it up.
I mean,
yeah, you go through them.
They're not cheap. A lot of them, like the ones that that I use on the stuff, a lot of times they're $100 an end mill. And then when you're cutting the Glock for the iron mark cut, it's done. All right, well, that fucker's dead.
It's all blood.
This Glock's line, tell you, shit. It was like forged in Valhalla or something.
Yeah, they do. Hard they got a good, they do. They have Gaston Glock and company just came up with a winner, and it lasted for a very, very long. And it's still going to go. You're not going to not see Glock. Glock's going to be around. Well, Glock, most likely, as long as America doesn't go belly up and give all of its guns up and everything, Glock most likely is going to be some type of 100-year company. Yeah. I mean, it's already working right now on a 40-plus year company, so it's going to definitely for sure be a 50-year company.
I'm just hoping they do have the California models. It just be a sad time. Just imagine Glock not being allowed in California, period.
Let me tell you what I would like. Let me tell you, if we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about I would like, get rid of the drop test, dude.
Well, yeah.
Get rid of it.
And the 10
It's unnecessary. It's the stupidest thing ever. Let's get this straight. We're Californians, and we can dictate to the companies that spend all of the money in engineering and preparatory to make the safest firearms possible, and we're going to tell them it's not safe unless we drop it. Oh, and by the way, all of our drop facilities are out of the state of California. We subcontract with other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. Get rid of that stupid ass thing, dude. It's another reason for California to take money from people. I mean, they're greedy. So yeah, I would like to see that.
The 10-day wait.
I can't imagine
people that already have several firearms in their name. It just doesn't make sense.
When the ammunition, the court or whatever decided to give their opinion that it was unconstitutional, and then of course so you had like that happened on a Thursday. So Friday and Saturday, Brownells and Midway and all the ammunition providers, they opened up the floodgates. Yeah. And they're like, oh, guess what? Hey guys, ship it out. So
and we didn't even know about it.
No, I had no idea. I remember I was picking up someone's gun from the Turlock PD station. I was there waiting, and like Radford and other people are texting me, and I'm like, what's going on? They're like, is this true? Is this true? And I didn't hear about it. The state's not going to say anything. No, the state is only going to say what they want you to know.
When they want you to follow or stop doing something.
So the next day was Friday. It was insane. Everyone's coming in. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. What's going on? And then it wasn't until the following Monday that the state released its information saying, hey, guess what, guys? Yes, the Ninth Circuit did say that our ammunition background checks are unconstitutional, but we're taking that as an opinion because they didn't give us a mandate. Yeah. So you still have to do ammunition background
tell us
checks.
What we wanted to hear.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's an opinion.
Dude, that's California, man. That's California.
God. God dang it.
I had something I was trying to go off on that, man, about the ammunition background thing. Kind of lost it. Whatever.
The audacity of California, though, it blows my mind.
I think
They want you to follow the law, but only the law that they want you to follow.
well, that's all industries too in Cali, man. It's a greedy state. The politics here needs to change hands bad. I have my fingers crossed for 2026, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Not in Cali. They're dug in so deep in this state with these monarchy families that it's it's really difficult to.
What's her name? Porter, Katie.
Yeah,
Katie Porter. Yeah,
the runner-up at her party or whatever.
I'm thinking, and there's so many videos of her losing her shit on people too.
Yeah,
Like the actual Karen too, and she's
well, even our governor,
leading
man,
it.
is trying to follow in Trump's footsteps, and he's
trash
talking all over the place and doing what he thinks that the Republican Party wants to hear. So he.
By
can
the
get
way,
both
he
votes.
sounds weird doing it. It's like he doesn't do it right.
He does, yeah.
It's like not normal for him.
But by the way, so what I say, like this AB 1127 is like a gamed system to where it's kind of a ruse, I think, for money from nonprofit organizations to funnel it wherever they want and say that they've got a victory behind it. Newsom signed it. So he didn't have to sign. It was going to pass anyway. On like yesterday, it was going to pass if he didn't sign it. But on the 10th, he decided to sign it, knowing it was going to pass anyway, even if he just left it alone. The only way it wouldn't have passed is if he vetoed it. He would have the power to veto it, and then it would go back.
See, we were thinking that he was going to veto.
I thought he was going to veto
We
it
thought
as
we were
well.
going to do it
Yeah.
to make himself look moderate. Like, I'm not doing that kind of thing.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in Cali that... that's what I was going to say, man. So, dude from Mississippi, let's go back to the ammunition 3-day thing when everybody was like opening up the floodgates for Freedom Day or whatever it was. Dude from Mississippi calls me, and he's like, hey, I'm getting all these orders from California, man, and they're kind of around your area. I don't know if I can ship them to their house or not. So I was talking to him saying like, well, it's probably not the best thing to call a gun store, dude. I mean, you know, I could tell you one thing, but somebody else might tell you another, and it does look like the courts found it as unconstitutional, so do what you're going to do, I mean, you're in Mississippi. And then I asked him, I go, hey, man, well, I got you on the phone. I deal with a lot of different states for a gun broker because we do gun broker to all 50 states, and Anthony's got a little supply of these guns up here, looking nice, that we gun broker out. Here's one of them right here that's a used one. It's a nice little Marlin 336, old school.
1911.
Yeah, you got a good 1911. These are like new guns. You got the Colt, got the 243 by Savage. Oh, that's a nice one. But I don't lose my train of thought, man. So this guy says, I said, hey, can you walk me through what it's like for a gun sale there? Because when I get a gun sale here, I have to have the customer come in. If they don't have the real ID, and then they have to have a birth certificate or passport, and nobody really carries that with them. So if they have the birth certificate or passport without the real ID and they don't have the firearm safety certificate, then they have to take a California test where California grabs more of your money and makes you take this little bogus test thing, so you get this card, and then you get a number from that card that's a registry. And then you're going to sit down, and if you are going to buy a pistol, you have to have 2 proofs of residency additionally. So you have to have a car registration or government recognized, like a fishing or a hunting license or a utility bill from your municipality or something like that. And then you also have to sign your affidavit for that firearm that you are safe with firearms. And I have to have licensing behind all of that I pay the state for. And that guy was like, yeah, we don't have none of that. And he goes, we have the 4473s that you use. We make a phone call to the ATF. We can easily tell if that license is valid or not because there's only one license that Mississippi has to offer, and all of our citizens have it, and it's got an expiration date on it. And if it's not expired, we sit down with them, make the call to the ATF. It takes about 3 minutes for them to get back with an approval or a denial. If they come back with the approval, they walk out of the store with the gun.
Jesus.
I can't imagine what that's like in sales. Dude, I can't imagine.
Easy. That's what it's like. Very easy.
No 11% excise tax. None of this stuff going on.
You see them every time. I'm like watching people when they're buying it. They see this price, $649 or whatever, and then they go up and the final price comes up on the thing, and
Yes,
it's
649, ladies and gentlemen, easily becomes $820 in this state.
Yeah, you see them literally go, oh! I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it is, man. Well,
It's California.
it is California. I love the state. I love my grandkids, and I love my family, and I just love it, man. And I love Oakdale and everybody here, and we all get to complain together, which is fun, and we all kind of have the same type of mindset and everything else. I do wish on a state level, though, it was more
50-50.
level grounded. You know what I mean? It's just like when Juan was on here and he was talking about 80 members of the assembly, and you have 20.
Was it 20?
No, it's 20, dude. So they have 60 Democrats, and they only need a vote of 41 to pass.
So everything passed. So
Everything passes that they want. Yeah, I wish that was different, man. I hope there's something we can do about that. And that leads us into what you're trying to talk about.
Well, that Prop 50.
Prop 50.
And not just that Prop 50, you got the AB 771 that I was showing you, the freedom of speech part, where you do anything that the state of California deems as mean or hateful, then it's like a $500,000 to $1 million in fine.
Stay off social media, ladies and gents.
We might get in trouble for this.
Unless you're watching us and you're commenting to us and you're sharing our stuff, then you can be on it. Other than
But
that,
yeah,
just stay off it.
so there's a lot of stuff coming out. There's a good pitch. Yeah, there's Prop 50, and Prop 50 is that it's the redistricting proposition. And back in 2008, it was voted on to because before California was gerrymandered to hell and back.
Before 08, you mean?
Yes. So it was voted on.
Like when you say before real fast, dude, is that way back? Because I know California used to be a red state way back in the day.
And then that's when shit started to change. Yeah. And then you started seeing like more Democrats going up state legislator, Congress, Senate, and they started gerrymandering the hell out of the state. So in 2008, that's when it was put up to a vote. Democrats and Republicans, all the citizens were like, yeah, okay, we don't want this gerrymandering going. We don't want the state legislators, the people that we hired to work for us, to decide.
What are you pointing at?
Oh,
He's like, yes, man. Or you just like, preach to me, baby, preach.
Yeah. Peace.
Just look this way.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, where was I saying? Oh, 2008.
Gerrymandering.
Yeah, they didn't want the state legislators to redraw maps to decide on who was going to get elected. So a commission was put into place and put into the California Constitution, where that board that's supposed to be unbiased, and they're supposed to decide on how the maps are drawn for like redistricting. Yeah. So that way it's not left up to the state legislators to decide, okay, we're going to nibble a little bit of fat off this, and then we can get this vote that we want.
Right.
So that was put in place in 2008. Now all of a sudden, this yes on Prop 50, I told you about those commercials.
Everyone's talking about, I haven't seen one yet.
Oh, God, I've seen one right and
okay,
left.
I take it back. I have seen one, but it was on the opposing side. I saw the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, okay, that's all new.
He had his own commercial, or somebody did him on a commercial where he's like, no on Prop 50, no. I'm to the point where I think anything in California, just like, fucking no, man. Quit coming up with rules and regulations. There's already way too many. You know what you need to come up with? You need to come up with a rule and regulation that gets rid of all the rules and regulations.
Yes.
That's what you need to do.
Wipe the
I'd probably
slate
vote
clean.
yes on that. You know, like get rid of that stuff, man.
So that yes on Prop 50 is basically, so it's just, it doesn't terminate it, and the research that I found out, they don't want to use the word termination. So that's why, because it's in the California state's constitution. So they don't want people to see, oh yes, we're removing this altogether, because that looks bad. So they're using the word suspend, and they're only using it for 3 cycles. So 3 elections. So this 26, 28, and 32, I think it was. So that's the only ones that they're using. And then they say after that, then it will come back into play. So why are they doing it?
Because they're trying to get to that next
Because Trump's in right now, so to stop Trump and to make sure Vance doesn't get reelected.
Well, California is interesting, man. And, you know, we talked about it earlier. We have the most population. We have the biggest money, everything else. Our governor likes to brag that we're number one and all this stuff. And we are. And we have been. We have been for a long time. It's geographically set up to have that. The weather is incredible, so everybody moves out here. You know, historically speaking, huge ports and giant cities, metropolises we're set up to where this is a successful state.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Gavin Newsom is part of that success rate. I think that he's damaged it quite a bit, man, for the governing that he's given.
Have been
that
bouncing out of the state, right?
He's lost huge individuals and companies and money. And yeah, okay, fine, you'll replace them with some, but anyway, man, you know, California, it really is a powerful place. And I think if a political party loses the state of California, you're in big trouble, because this state is major, man. It counts for a lot. It really does have like a giant economy and, you know, the population here. And it really does, man. It affects everything. You can see over the years how it's influenced other states. Look at the industry that we're in. Colorado never used to have these issues, and now Colorado has them, and I guarantee it's an influence from California. It went all the way up the coast through Oregon and Washington. Oregon and Washington are getting to be more and more like California, where I've even heard that Washington currently
It's worse.
has rules and regulations where you can't even buy a semi-automatic centerfire rifle. So a Mini 14 or a M1 30 caliber carbine or an M1 Garand cannot be sold through a gun store in Washington. And that has to do with Seattle, because all these big cities, that's where it comes from. Denver's the thing that's dictating Colorado. Seattle's what's dictating Washington. Portland dictates. And then here we are in California, where we've got Los Angeles and the greater Bay Area dictating for the rest of the state.
Well, if you remember, maybe like 20 years ago, Oregon and Washington, they did not want Californians even to
Now that's happening to Montana.
visit.
Now that's
Oregon
happening to Tennessee. Now that's happening to Florida.
They did not want those plates there. I mean, you would get people flipping you off and stuff because they didn't want the psycho California rules.
When Gary Cooksey moved up to Idaho,
resistance is futile.
and by the way, he moved up there and bought his property pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So this was happening, 16, 17, 18. And he goes up there to look at it, and the real estate agent said, "We're going to go in my car." And he goes, No, we'll follow you. And she goes, "No, you show up with California plates, these property owners are not going to sell to you."
Damn. No, it's same as Idaho, like you said, Idaho, Tennessee, was it Georgia? A lot of those, they don't want Californians in there because of the shit that has happened to Oregon, Washington. I mean, it's insane. Well, try not to be biased here, but facts are freaking facts, So, like, again, that yes on 50 is just bad. I mean, who wants to remove something so you can gerrymander?
Well, it's all about control.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's all about control.
And the people, it's like, I can get a little wild here, but it's almost like the shit that they watch, they believe it 100%. No one does any fact checking for themselves. And if you watch MSNBC, they're saying, yes, it is the best thing. It is for you. And you have people like AOC.
Well, that's where I hit
Jasmine
a brick wall every
Crockett
now and then.
saying, focusing in on California. They're not even from here.
I know.
And like AOC's commercial, she flat out comes out, us Californians. What do you mean, us Californians? You're not Californian.
I haven't seen it, but like I said, California is a huge state. It's a very influential state. It's influential to the globe, dude, to the world. California is.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. And, I'm going to keep on dealing with the red tape because I'm used to it. I will have some hope. I'll hold hope. I hope that things happen differently in 26 and midterm-wise and state election-wise.
There's two good dudes that are running.
Yeah,
for it.
I would love to see Chad Bianco. Yeah, I'd love to see a freaking conservative law
Sheriff?
enforcement official, a sheriff,
dude.
get up there. I think it'd be
this
great,
state
man.
up.
I really do, yeah. And take away whatever's happening in California with the money. As far as the government goes, they're doing it wrong. So they say, oh yeah, we're gonna save homeless. Like, you're making it worse, man. You're oh my God, it's so much worse that you got involved and started like throwing multi-billions of dollars. And there's so many more people that are drug addicted and now don't have a home.
Running out of money, asking the federal government for more. Keep running out, ask the federal government for more.
California was the largest ARPA, American Relief Plan Act recipient of all 50 states. Some $170 billion were given to California.
That was right before Biden left, right?
It was like 21, 22, something like that. Yeah, it was a big relief plan thing.
Give him one right before.
Yeah, it was a federal grant. Yeah, and the president signed off on it, and it came in. And we were already some $60 billion in debt. So now we have this $110, $115 surplus.
And then it went
now gone. And is now we're in debt again.
Sorry.
So whoever's doing whatever they're doing, you guys are not money.
Yeah, where did money go?
Well, and then school systems, everything, I mean, we're just sitting here complaining about stuff at this point, but I think there's a lot of people that do agree. And I hope that, voting changes a little bit in this state, but it may be to the point where, one thing I think about, man, is like, the people are speaking in this state, right? Like, the people are. We don't see them because we're out here in the valley, and we're
not as loud either.
We're not as loud. We don't have the population. These people in these it's whatever it is about these municipalities, man. Everybody gets compact in these giant populations. There's something that changed in your mindset where you start thinking differently, and it's not a comfortable thought for us that live in more sparse areas where we can stretch our legs and. We don't have to wait half an hour to get a block down the street and traffic and everything. So there's something about that. And the same for them. Those people think the same. They're like, oh my gosh, these hillbillies are ruining the world. These conservative thinkers, it's just crazy. They want to teach kids math in school instead of this other agenda or whatever. So I don't know, man. It's hard to understand. And then the money, like I can't understand. We're talking about money that goes into these different things. So the war on drugs.
Where's the damn bullet train?
That's not going nowhere, bro.
Where's the damn bullet train?
That's another funny business.
It looks ugly. I mean, you see it when you go visit.
It's got a half a bridge.
Yes.
With no tracks laid on
Where's
it.
the damn bullet train?
Billions of dollars.
Jesus.
So then they say, okay, well, we need this money for guns and $5 background checks and 11% excise tax, and it's going to go to education in our school system. And it's not, man. They're just washing it. And let's speak of the school system.
Look at the literal rates, too. California is one of the lowest now. The lowest. Yeah. We have the stupidest kids now. Sorry, but we do. So what the hell are they teaching them?
Man, that's pretty sad.
What are they teaching them? There is some hope. Though, because I have seen like younger generations that are in school, and that's where my thought, bear with me on this. I think if you're pushing something too much, like trying to force feed it, people are going to start gagging it out, like not wanting it. It's kind of like if you're sitting there. COVID shot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Bro, the COVID thing was insane, bro. Like, I think back to that. It was not that long ago. You look at 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
There's a lot more shit that's coming out about that, too. That's not good.
They shut everything down. They vilified any person that questioned it whatsoever. They took away, businesses went under. Jobs, you talk about the homelessness and the job market and the unemployment rate. It went through these skyrocketing, record-breaking numbers because the government was involved telling you not to do that because this epidemic that they knew nothing about, was out, and they were scared for it. So they're saying just like stay home and just do what we say and don't go outside. And if you don't wear a mask and if you don't have this shot or this, remember the Vax card, dude? It was literally like, you don't have your papers? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And California was one of the leading, our government was one of the leading forces to influence others on that. And now it's like, where are your apologies for putting people through that kind of bullshit when your little COVID shot did not save the
Well,
world.
they're trying to wipe it under the table. That never happened. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? That never happened. That's what it's like.
We're going through a lot of stuff politically, dude. We really are, man. It's going to be an interesting couple of years, man. It really is.
Like I was saying with the school part, though, like, imagine, okay, you like PB&J, okay?
I like PB&J.
Right, but someone grabs you, puts you in a cellar, and only gives you PB&J for 2 years straight, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then all of a sudden you're released and someone hands you a PB&J. You're like, I don't want a fucking PB&J.
I could probably do like a couple days.
You see? I mean, you see what I'm saying though? That's what it's like. And I've seen a lot of them in the schools now. They're and gives me hope. A lot of younger people are starting to get more conservative. I see it at my kids' school.
Yeah.
They're starting to get more conservative. And then you start seeing now there you have chapters, even in Modesto, in the high schools, they're wanting to open that now after the horrible death of Charlie Kirk. They're wanting to open up those Turning Point USA things in some high schools around here too. So there is some hope.
Yeah.
There is some hope.
We'll see, man. It's going to be an interesting couple of years. It's been interesting
like,
so far.
Screw it.
Dude, I can't help it, man.
We've been burnt a lot.
Everything that happens doesn't surprise me now. So, like this AB 1127, earlier this year, I was saying, not going to happen.
No way. Yeah.
No way. Okay, but I wasn't thinking the way I think about it now. So, yeah, there's a way. And by the way, you didn't even know that Glock had already announced it wasn't going to make them anymore anyway. So this whole thing is like some ruse for the political party to gain revenue through a false success.
Saying they won something.
The whole thing. Like, oh, look at us, guys.
We won a fight against guns.
Almighty Glock, and we did this. Like, dude, they're making a new model anyway. They're phasing that one out. Yeah. So the whole thing. So I think differently about it. And people that are in positions where they get paid to concentrate on these events on a constant basis. I don't, man. I'm in here trying to hustle and make a buck and make my mortgage and, take a vacation with my girl every now and then. And you know what I mean? That's just my life. Like I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. I don't have time to concentrate on it. I look at it here and there and I don't get the right information. It's really difficult to trust anything that you get on the internet. The media is no longer journalism. That's dead. No, it's a bunch of propaganda now, Yeah. So I go. You have to go if you want to know these assembly bills. You actually have to go to CaliforniaLegislature.gov and read them. And you need to be an attorney to understand them, dude. So when you hear the videos, like I like to, what's the guy I listen to, Copper Jacket or whatever, I like him. He's good.
Oh, yeah.
He gives like little 6 and 7 minute segments.
TV.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And he gives like Nevada. 6 and 7 minute, like, hey, quick, down and dirty, this is what's going on. Okay, well, that's pretty good. It's
and
a good understanding.
And he's big about California because he was from California and then moved to Nevada and still reports on crazy California shit.
But nonetheless, you really can't listen to much stuff that you do find on the internet. So you have to go and try and read these 5 million page long.
You need to do your own diligence and do research.
It's tough to understand it. Yeah. And when you're busy, you can only allocate so much time in the day to do that kind of thing. Whereas when you get a city official, an elected official that has a decent salary and that has a staff to do things for them, they give a directive. The staff goes out and does all this research and information, brings it back to them. They have an attorneys at their leisure, and then they end up applying for a suit or a bill to get implemented. And if it gets overturned, they'll just try again.
Yeah.
Try and elect it again and get more staff and do it
with
again.
Those bills, and that's the whole reason too, I 100% believe, because of people like us that want to do our own, I'm going to go check that out. I'm going to read it for myself. That is one reason too. They make those fucking things like a book. And it goes yada 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 la 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 la, and you're like, what the fuck? And then in the middle somewhere it says like the 771, a whole bunch of BS that you don't understand. And then in the middle it says, oh yeah, by the way, if you fucking make fun of us, we're gonna fuck you. Right in the middle. It doesn't say that
in the middle,
but yeah,
right in the middle,
right in the middle. But it has a whole bunch of BS that's all around it. So you're gonna go, okay, I'm not gonna read this. I'm not going to read this. Hopefully they're telling me the truth.
I'm out of beer.
In the middle?
In the middle. I got my grandson staying the night tonight, so I'm going to go build something with him in the garage when I get home. That being said, man, anything else we want to complain about or talk about?
Well, God, I know we got to go. So there's a billion shit to bitch about, dude. Fuck. Anything you want to bitch about, Anthony? You want us to say something? Smack someone?
It was fun, buddy. We're going to do it again. Stay tuned for more of Freedom Files. Throw in some comments. Talk about...
let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think, and talk about if there's anything else that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, other than that, guys, let's wrap it up, and we'll see you soon.